Testing.
Made website, right? Let's get started. So here I am, I'm in a new directory, and I am in a code editor called Visual Studio Code, but you can use whichever code editor you want. And the first thing we're going to type is npx create react app full mid website. Let's get started. So here I am, I'm in a new directory, and I am in a code editor called Visual Studio Code, but you can use whichever code editor you want.
ओके, सो या व्हिडिओमध्ये आपण हा व्हिडिओ फॉलो करून विल ट्राय टू क्रिएट वन वेबसाइट इन रिएक्ट, हार्ड हॅट, इथर, चक्रा UI एटसेट्रा. सो याचा आवाज जर क्लिअर नसेल तर प्रॉब्ली तुम्ही हा व्हिडिओ सेपरेट बघू शकता जो आपण बघतोय. बट बेसिकली मी हा व्हिडिओ बघत आय विल गो फॉरवर्ड इन द कोड.
Is a package that allows you to build new directory, and I am in a code editor new directory.
Okay, so जसा तो एक्सप्लेन करतो, I will start creating my code, writing my code. So Visual Studio Code, we'll use Visual Studio Code. I think let's do new. So we'll create a new folder actually. Open folder. Let's go to this PC, D drive, minus data, and
and I am in a code editor called Visual Studio Code, but you can use whichever code editor you want. And the first thing we're going to type is npx create react app full mint website.
npx create react app full mint website. So let's do this. Terminal npx install deka. Let's first check. Yes, npx react create react app full mint website.
Create React app is a package that allows you to build all the necessary boilerplate to create React apps, and it's very convenient, very easy to use. All right, and then from here we're going to go into.
Please update your version. Install your running create react app requires node 14 or higher, so node update करावा लागेल. So how to update node? Okay, so node सुद्धा मी आधी वापरलं नाहीये, so this is my first time experimenting with node react. हे काही मी वापरले नाहीये, so even I'm learning for the first time. npm install npm. Yeah, npm केव्हा तरी install केलं असणार of course, but I haven't explored this in detail. ठीक है, so again npx create react app full mint website. Okay, so update अजूनही झालं नाहीये, so this version and will not receive this upgrade as a node v करून चेक करू एकदम node v node update, how to update node. What is nvm? Nvm is not recognized. Okay, so npm install -g npm. Let's try again. Sudo apt update, and what we need is non-major region install before using. Okay, so sudo हे लिनक्स साठी आहे, so आपण ते वापरणार नाही, but let's try this. Okay, let's try to reopen virtual Visual Studio VS Code. And let's try again. Okay, sudo app update do no sudo not recognized. On Linux आपल्याला विंडोज वर हवं आहे. On Windows updating Node.js. Windows just install code from this node website. ठीक है. So let's try this. Now, if you want to update Node.js or I recommended using okay chocolate ridge आपण skip केला. Okay, but this is taking a long time. Let's try again. Next, next. Install करून टाकू आपण हे पण. Next, install. Yes. So यानंतर
Folder
काय
we just
करतो बघू.
created, and we're going to open that up into a new window. And as you can see, we already have a lot of these files created. But before that, we're going to be installing a few things, and we're going to start that with npm i-d hardhat. By the way, you're going to have Node installed. If you haven't, you can go to the Node link in the description below to install Node if you haven't already. And here we're installing Hardhat, which is a very convenient package that allows you to do a lot of the blockchain stuff, like deploy your contract, compile your contract, and it sets up a lot of that boilerplate for you. And with that installed, we're going to run a command called npx hardhat. And we are going.
Okay, finish.
Going to create a basic sample project by hitting enter, 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 and enter. And this will install a lot of the boilerplate that will help us create a Web3 application. A lot of these packages allow us to develop a lot of the things that we are going to need for our minting website. And once that's installed, we're going to install just a few more things. We're going to first install something called Open Zeppelin contracts. So this helps us import a lot of Open Zeppelin standard contracts, which are very useful for our minting smart contract. Okay, and the final thing that we're going to install is actually kind of optional, but it will help us do a lot of the styling that we'll need for our website. And we're going to be using something called Chakra, as you can see here. This is a component library that allows us to use pre-built components that makes our lives easier when it comes to styling and some of the functionality. There are some trade-offs, but I will get to that when we get there. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this line. This website you can see in the description below as well, and then you can just copy whatever this is and then just paste it into our terminal, and we'll just wait for that to finish. And with all that, everything is fully installed and finally get started with our coding. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our source directory. This folder is going to be holding a lot of the files that is necessary for the website. But first, we're going to just go and click some of these files, as you can see here, and we're going to be deleting them because we do not need them. And then we can go to index.js. We're going to delete report web vitals, as well as this comment below. Save that. We're going to go to app.js. And we're going to delete the header over here because we don't need that, as well as the logo that we're not going to be using. Right after we clean that up, we're going to go to contracts, and we have a reader.sol file. This we can actually just delete, and we're going to create a new file. And the NFT name that we're going to call just for this demo app is going to be called RoboPunk's NFT.sol. So in this file, this is our Solidity smart contract. So this is what's going to actually appear and be saved into the blockchain. And the first thing we're going to do is write spdx license identifier, and you can just say unlicensed. Now, these license identifier is basically a lot of legal stuff depending on what you're trying to build. Then the first thing we're going to do, we're going to do pragma solidity, and we're going to choose 0.8.4. So this will choose the version of solidity that we want. We're going to use 0.8.4 in this case, but you can choose any version that you want with this. And then we're going to import some Open Zeppelin contracts. So we're going to import @Open Zeppelin /contracts /token ERC 721 ERC 721.sol, and this will import our contract that we can use for minting. And this is a very
What if you could build fast but operate privacy? What if you could ensure data privacy?
Hey guys, create. So this is actually where we start. Right. All right, and then once we confirm, we should see that this number increases. Convenient contract, and it's a standard because it's a very secure contract that you can reuse. And one, and will allow us, and this one's going to be called ownable.sol. So this will allow us to define functions that only the owner can use. All right, after we import it, we're going to create our contract, and we're going to call it RoboPunk's NFT is ERC 721 and ownable. So these two things are what we imported over here, and this contract is going to be inheriting from these two contracts, giving us a lot of base.
Yeah. So ERC 721 एक कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट आहे, ओनेबल हा दुसरा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट आहे, आणि दोन्ही कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट्स आपण एक्सटेंड करतोय. म्हणजे रोबोपंक्स NFT या केसमध्ये या दोघांचे फंक्शन्स वापरू शकतो, आणि या दोघांनी स्टँडर्ड फंक्शनॅलिटी दिल्यात. सो यू डोंट हॅव टू रिइन्व्हेंट द व्हील. आणि आपलं पायथन अजूनही इन्स्टॉल होतं इथे. आय डोंट नो वाय पायथन इन्स्टॉलेशनची गरज आहे, कारण इट्स ऑलरेडी इन्स्टॉल्ड. बट चोकोलेटी आपण सेट केलं, सो yeah, you have to go through it.
Functionality that we can base our contract from. And then from here, we're going to create a bunch of variables. So these are storage variables. So the first one we're going to create is a mint price storage variable. Just note when you're using these storage variables, they are what cost your contract a lot of Ethereum. So if you use these willy-nilly, you need to, because this is where a lot of the costs come from. But anyways, we have to define some of these storage variables because we are going to need them. So we're going to have a total supply over here. We're going to create another uint 256 public max supply. So these variables, by the way, are uint 256. So these are basically numbers. There are different versions of uint, but for now we're just going to use 256, which is 32 bytes. But that's the main storage you want to use for the uints to be safe. So mint price is going to be the price of the mint. Total supply is going to be the current number of NFTs while you're minting. If there's 10 NFTs that were minted, the total supply will be 10. Whereas max supply is the maximum number of NFTs that will be in the collection. So we're going to specify that to be if the number of NFTs that were minted, the total supply will be 10. Whereas mint total supply uints to be safe. So mint price is going to be the price of the mint. Total supply is going to be the current number of NFTs while you're minting. If there's 10 NFTs that were minted, the total supply will be 10. Whereas max supply is the maximum number of NFTs that will be in the collection. So we're going to specify that to be 1,000, but we'll come to where we specify that initially. And then we're going to have max per wallet. So this will determine the max number of NFTs a specific wallet can mint. And this helps distribute the number of NFTs to more people as opposed to one person minting maybe all 1,000 of them. And that's usually not good for a collection. All right, and then the next thing we're going to create is a bool, which is a boolean, which is basically true or false. And this is going to be is public mint enabled. This will determine when the users can mint. So the owner, which is going to come from the ownable contract, is going to be able to toggle this to be true or false. And this will allow minters to be able to mint. And then we're going to create another string called base token URI. So this is very critical. If you're using something like OpenSea, this will determine the URL of which OpenSea can use to determine where the images are located. And then we're going to create an address, and we're going to create it called public withdraw wallet. We're not going to code the ability to withdraw from this wallet, but this is how you would withdraw the money that goes into the contract using this particular wallet. And this is how you retrieve the funds. And then finally, we're going to create a mapping, and this is going to be address, and we're going to set it to uint 256. And this is going to call a public variable with wallet mints as the variable name. So basically, this will determine and keep track of all the mints that will be done. So this is very important. I mentioned in previous videos where if you track by the balance of the number of mints in the wallet is very bad. You can watch those videos, but this is so we can actually keep track of how many each wallet has minted, so they cannot mint more than the maximum specified. And from here, we're going to create a constructor function. What this constructor function is.
Okay, so this is taking time. Installation. I'm not going to stop this, but I will stop the stream right now. And next part मध्ये आपण इथून कंटिन्यू करू.